board of directors of Turks and Caicos Airport Authority, the family of Clifford Gardiner, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today is a very historic day for the Turks and Caicos Islands, but more importantly, for us, the community of North Caicos. I'm proud to be here today, and I'm super excited about the events that are about to unfold. Today also signifies and confirms to me the power of vision, ambition, determination, and time. We grew up today in a tech world where almost everything is relatively instant, from the way we communicate, the way we access information, the way we travel, even to the way we complete projects. And I mention time just to highlight quickly that the legacies and greatness usually takes up a lot of time. As we go through the ceremony today, I want us to keep in the back of our minds how we ended up here today. I want you to think about the government and the vision and their dedication and their leadership that has brought us to this day. I would also want you to think about the legacy that was created from the vision, ambition, dedication, and hard work of our Clifford C. Gardiner. And I also want you to remember that everything takes time. Even if it happens as quickly as a snap of a finger, everything takes time. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm mentioning time so much. Most of you will know I'm not a member of the Buffonite Church, but I'm from Trinity Baptist Church. And Sunday, usually when we finish church and we're driving home, the Buffonite rides will be right in front of us. So we ain't gonna be here long, we can get to it. Before we move on to have Ms. Asha Parker, the media officer, bring the welcome, I'd like to leave these few words I got from Mr. Clifford Gardiner one day we was having a conversation. I was basically telling him about this idea I have in mind. And I always have these grand ideas, and one thing I've been missing is money. And I was telling him about this idea, and I told him the only problem I have is I don't have the money. And he looked at me, he had this smirk on his face, and he laughed. And he said, "Boy, you could do anything you hear? Boy, you could do anything. And money ain't your problem. You just can't be no red ass." Ms. Parker.
Accepting the protocol that's already been established. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Wow. I have no idea what type of good morning that was, but I do know we're going to have to do that again. And here is why. You see, North Caicos has been out of the aviation business for a little while, and she's finally back. She's back with a renaming and a refueling. And what makes this even more epic is each and every one of you. Whether you are a supporter, whether you're tuned in live on social media, whether you are one of the team members of TCIAA, or you'll be stepping to the podium in a few short moments to speak, this makes it super, super special for us. We have the family of the eponym here. We have dignitaries here. We have Her Excellency the Governor here. We have the Premier, members of our Board of Directors here, and of course, again, yourselves. This is what makes it so epic, and we really appreciate each and every one of you for being tuned in to this moment with us, including those on social media. So let's swing back to the good morning one last time. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Let's hear it.
Good morning.
That was beautiful, man. I feel like the people in the back still in Provo. Y'all holding up the program, man. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Let me hear the people in the back.
Good morning.
Excellent. I love it. Listen, everybody, welcome. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to make this a special moment in history. A lot of work went behind writing another chapter in Turks and Caicos history. Welcome. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. We'll now call on Reverend Hamilton to open us up in a word of prayer.
Our Lord, our Father, we give you the glory. We
give you praise and we give you thanks. Lord, we thank you for this lovely day that you have given to us. We thank you for waking us up in our right minds and our sound bodies, faculties that would enable us to enjoy the day and really be into the occasion in which we are gathered. Lord, we thank you that you move in mysterious ways. And you even help us to move in ways that we never would have thought. Who would have thought that man would be able to fly better than the birds and in greater numbers? But we thank you, Lord, that you also glorify your creation. And because you do marvelous things, you also enable us to do great things. And so, Lord, we are thanking you. We must ever be grateful to you because of the gifts that you have given to us. We think especially of the departed Captain Clifford Gardiner. We thank you for his services to us. And we thank you for all of us who are here. We thank you for raising up great leaders among us. Lord, I pray especially remembering also the other leaders amongst us, but I pray especially for Excellency, the Governor, representing the Crown, and our own dear Premier, representing the people. Lord, I pray that you would bless them with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Lord, I pray that you would help their team to work willingly and wholeheartedly in good causes. I pray, Lord, that you would bless the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands, especially those who are gathered here and those who may be abroad celebrating with us on a social media platform. Lord, I pray that they would also share our joy in the fullest. We pray that you will continue to lead us and inspire us, and that you would put your hand among more young people for the edification of the nation and for the glory of God. I pray that you will bless us all and help us always to give you the praise and the thanks. In Jesus' precious name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor. We'll now have the national anthem and national song added on the primary school. It's the added on the primary school here. Let's stand. Before we start, we have to have somebody else do this. If I can't do that. Honorable Malcolm, I see you looking away.
Good morning. God save our gracious King. Long live our noble King. God save the King. Send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the King. Oh, we salute this land of ours, our country we declare, this promised land with its beauties grand, though small it is our own. Turks and Caicos, Turks and Caicos, our country firm and free. Our allegiance, Turks and Caicos, we pledge and we affirm. From the east, west, north, and south, our banks and oceans meet, surrounding sands and hills of gleam, our pristine beauty see. Our people forged and blend with multiplicity of race and kind and creed and tongue, united by our goals. Turks and Caicos, Turks and Caicos, our country firm and free. Our allegiance, Turks and Caicos, we pledge and we affirm. We stand with courage brave to maintain this land of ours, with islands scattered here and there, with trust in God we stand. Turks and Caicos, Turks and Caicos, our country firm and free. Our allegiance, Turks and Caicos, we pledge and we affirm. Our allegiance, Turks and Caicos, we pledge and we affirm.
Thank you, Honorable. I made it sound a little bit better. I'll challenge you next time.
Why is it got?
We will now have remarks in background from the chairman, the executive chairman of Turks and Caicos Airport Authority, Mr. Selwyn Hawkins.
Good morning, everyone. I consider it both an honor and a privilege to join you this morning here in this auspicious occasion amongst this illustrious crowd. Today, we honor this nation's past by remembering the legacy of one of its sons, Clifford Gardiner, through the renaming of this airport from the North Caicos International Airport to the Clifford Gardiner International Airport. Today, we also bolster our aspirations for a bold, daring, and prosperous future for the Turks and Caicos Islands, and in particular, the twin islands of North and Middle Caicos, through the unveiling of designs for what will be a modern, state-of-the-art, premium-class passenger terminal here on the island of North Caicos. A little more than 3 months ago, during the renaming ceremonies for the Howard Hamilton International Airport, the Norman B. Saunders International Airport, and the naming of the Walter Cox Administration Building, which serves as the head office for the Turks and Caicos Islands Airports Authority. A little bit about the origins of what transpired and what led up to the naming of these airports was shared around that time. I'll share it again today for the benefit of everyone here. At its 123rd meeting, held on the 26th of July 2022, the Board of Directors for the Airports Authority approved and handed down for implementation a policy titled Naming of Facilities, Spaces, Equipment, and Programs. The introduction of this policy came as a result of a conversation had between the Minister with responsibility for the airports, the Honorable Arlington Musgrove, our CEO for the Airports Authority, Mr. Godfrey Smith, and I, during which the Minister emphasized the need to honor and solidify the legacies of Turks and Caicos Islanders through the naming of our buildings, seizing the opportunity to transform them into symbols of national pride. I would say that with that conversation then came a very strong push from the ever so fervent and ever so loving Permanent Secretary for the Airports Authority, Ms. Althea Bean. That conversation then became a policy motion brought before the Board of Directors of the TCIA for discussion, refinement, and then direction to the management team of the Airports Authority, with the primary purpose of providing a guaranteed mechanism by which the TCIA's buildings, spaces, equipment, and programs would be named in honor of distinguished Turks and Caicos Islanders who have made extraordinary contributions to the field of aviation and or to the improvement of quality of life for the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands and or for the development of the Turks and Caicos Islands generally. You see, we didn't want to just leave the act of naming our buildings to some coincidence or unregulated chance. We wanted a mechanism by which we would be certain that there was a quality assured process for identifying those individuals after whom we would name these facilities. And so today's ceremonies here in the Twin Islands will complete the board's task of ensuring that all 6 of our nation's public airports are named and stand as lasting testaments to the lives of extraordinary Turks and Caicos Islanders. And so today, in this celebratory and yet solemn moment, we come to remember and honor the life and work of the late Clifford Gardiner, who I must add was once a member of the Board of Directors for the Turks and Caicos Islands Airports Authority. As a son of this soil, whose name is decorated with more than one national award and a regional award for his meritorious and pioneering service to his country, it is only fitting that as we aim to pioneer again here in the island of North Caicos, that we endorse our efforts with the name of an extraordinary visionary whose life sets an example for all of us in what it means to truly love one's country and to dedicate one's life in service to country. To the family of the late Clifford Gardiner, on behalf of the Board of Directors for the Turks and Caicos Islands Airports Authority, the management and the team of the Airports Authority, we thank you for joining us today and for graciously allowing us to utilize the name of your loved one to inspire a nation for many generations to come. We at the Airports Authority pledge to treat the late Clifford Gardiner's name with reverence, developing and maintaining this site into a world-class facility befitting of the honor of his name and reflecting the quality of service he labored to give. And as I mentioned earlier, today we also unveil the TCIAA's plans for a new passenger terminal here at this very site where we are gathered. At the time of preparing this message, I envisioned the tent being where we had hoped it would be, which is actually to my left, with the trees and horizon there as the background, which is actually the precise location where the new terminal will be built. The process of getting to this point has not been an easy one, but I guarantee all of you it has been a virtuous one. This month will mark 3 years since I was introduced to the Airports Authority, or depending on how you look at it, the Airports Authority was introduced into my life. Yet, over the past 3 years, the board, along with the executive team for the Airports Authority, and I must point out, with the support of TCI Invest, have entertained numerous meetings and proposals for developing the airport here in North Caicos. And with each proposal, we had the onerous task of examining closely the intention of each proposed investment, the asks which came with the proposed investments, and the value of the return to the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands, and in particular to the people of North and Middle Caicos. In one instance, we believed we were on the brink of successfully closing on an arrangement, which in the end, our genuine belief was that the proposal was not in the best interest of the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands. See, we've taken the position that the Turks and Caicos Islands has reached a stage where not just any old bait will do. If it doesn't smell right, if it doesn't look right, we don't intend to bite. And so we immediately then set out exploring the option for directly overseeing the design of the kind of product we believe to be reflective of our vision for the Twin Islands. And the result of that quest was the engagement of DNA, which is Dyke Nelson Architects, a prestigious firm based in Louisiana, for the design and construction management of the terminal plans being unveiled today. Today we have the privilege of having Mr. Dyke Nelson himself join us here. Mr. Nelson's visit with us this week forms part of the final stages of him wrapping up the intricate architectural work for the project, with the next task then being, and with the support of our very own projects director for the Airports Authority, which is Melanie Capuant, in preparing an invitation to tender for the construction of the new terminal, and then he himself overseeing the construction phase to ensure that the creativity and thoughtfulness that he has brought to his design is delivered as is. Mr. Nelson, before everyone here today, I would like to thank you. Thank you for the time that you've taken to be here with us, for listening attentively to our desires, and for at all times being gracious and immediately willing to assist and accommodate our requests. It would be remiss of me today to also walk away from this podium without seizing this opportunity to recognize the work of many who are hard at work in ensuring that the TCIA evolves into the kind of organization that the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands can be proud of. First and foremost, Honorable Premier, I want to thank you and this government for setting the vision for transforming the Turks and Caicos Islands through the positive transformation of its institutions, the TCIA being one of them. Honorable Minister, I also want to thank you for joining in the Premier's vision and for advancing it through your appointment of and continuous engagement with what I have now discovered to be a very skilled and hard-working board of directors. If there was ever any doubt, I take this opportunity to make it known that the Honorable Arlington Musgrove, as Minister for the Airports Authority, is a minister hard at work in motivating and holding the institutions and their leaders under his charge accountable. I now wish to honor our esteemed board of directors who are present today. Our Deputy Chairman, Mr. Dwayne Gardiner, who hails from North Caicos, and who I point out this morning, the former terminal building for this site, which is now demolished, was actually built by his father in the 1970s. And so we are grateful to the work that his father would have put into building that terminal. We aim to preserve some of the stone and do something with it. But now we have the benefit of Mr. Gardiner serving on our board as the lead of our infrastructure committee. And Mr. Gardiner is definitely hard at work. I also want to thank Ms. P.S. Bean, the PS for Border Control and the airport, Ms. Daphne Harvey, the PS Finance, Mr. Trevor Lightburn, Mr. Godwin Mizik, Mr. Albright Gardner, who are directors to our authority, and noting that Mr. Gardner has, with his recent appointment, following his recent appointment, joined Mr. Dwayne Gardner in leading our infrastructure committee. Our secretary, Ms. Nakia Ewing. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that these people together constitute one of the hardest, if not the hardest, working boards operating in the TCIA today. I'm biased on that. I also wish to honor our CEO, Mr. Godfrey Smith, to whom I find myself almost on a daily basis apologizing for misleading him on the level of difficulty of the task at hand when leading the TCIA. With my apologies aside, I assure you that my observation of Mr. Smith is that he is a man of honor with a genuine commitment to giving his best in service to the Turks and Caicos Islands and her people, and with particular regard for bringing young, talented people into the center of the building of this country. And I note that if you were to observe the Airports Authority over the past 2.5 years since Mr. Smith has been there, we've introduced quite a bit of human capital. And I am proud to note that just about 99% of the leadership of that is comprised of Turks and Caicos Islanders, and an even greater portion of that percentage are young people. Finally, and to the rest of the management team and the frontline team at the Turks and Caicos Islands Airports Authority, there are too many of you for me to dare name in this place today. However, I will note that each and every team member of the Airports Authority present with us today is a living embodiment of the hard work and dedication to the Airports Authority, and those absent and scattered throughout the islands today represent several more. To the team of TCIA, I thank you for your work and for the value each of you bring. I encourage you to continue to bring the best of yourselves as we continue to work together to build an organization and airports that the Turks and Caicos Islands can be proud of. Now, I don't intend to talk much longer. I will leave the glorious moment to the Minister to share with you some of the works that are in progress. But I encourage you to celebrate today with great expectation for the future of this site and for the future of all our airports throughout the Turks and Caicos Islands. And whilst the Honourable Musgrove will update you during his remarks on critical works that are about to occur in relation to this site and to this airport, I wish to leave you with two significant things. The first is the intention behind the terminal design being unveiled today. And Mr. Nelson may speak briefly to that when he brings his remarks. Nonetheless, the terminal is designed to exist in what we have classed as a premium airport product, catering both to general traffic and to exclusive private traffic. While providing for commercial passengers travel, we've included in this design a VIP terminal area to cater for those seeking a more exclusive private journey on private jets. This is a testament to the hope we hold for the kind of commercial activity that will generate from this terminal. The second thing I want you to note is that the design being unveiled today and the plans being announced today fit into a larger plan for developing a strong, reliable, and economically viable airport network throughout the Turks and Caicos Islands. I am proud to share that the TCIAA is now in the final stages of producing its strategic master plan, which outlines a vision for our airports covering a 30-year period. Notably, this plan, once approved by Cabinet and then launched, will serve as the reference tool for the future development and ongoing utilization of all our airports. What is notable from this plan is that apart from making all of our airports economically viable, bringing commercial activity and jobs to all the islands, is that the plan includes an action plan for transforming all our airports into internationally certified green airports, ensuring their sustainability for the benefit of many generations to come, while leveraging opportunities to explore and integrate modern technology, in some instances aiming to lead the region in the aviation field in that regard. To this end, I encourage you to stay tuned for announcements concerning the launch of our strategic master plan, which we hope to be achieved before this year ends. Now, I believe I've spoken long enough. Again, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you all for this opportunity. And again, congratulations to the family of the late Clifford Gardiner, who we honor today.
Thank you, Chairman. Before we continue with remarks, we're going to have a selection by the Edley Umla Primary School. Give them a hand and say thank you.
There comes a time when we hear the sudden cry, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can go on, pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We are all a part of God's great big family, and it's true to know love is all we need. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our land, and we'll make a brighter day, just you and me. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own lives, and it sure will make a brighter day, just you and me. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own lives, and it sure will make a brighter day, just you and me. Just you and me.
Great job. Give a round of applause. Wow, like I said earlier, time is a bad dude. I remember a couple years ago, I used to be coming up singing that song. We are the world, we are the children. But time is a bad dude. No children no more. We'll now have remarks from DNA architect, Mr. Dyke Nelson.
Okay, well that's a lot of pressure having to follow that act, so I'll be very brief. Mr. Hawkins, the privilege is mine. Like I can't thank you enough for being able to be a part of this project. To have such an important part with this community, and that we can honor the Gardiner family. We take this very seriously. And I go to a lot of these kind of ceremonies where it's a ribbon cutting or a groundbreaking and things of that nature, but I can tell you quite honestly that this is possibly the most important project that we've ever worked on. My team and myself are so proud to be a part of this and are taking every step of the way very seriously. We have a ton of pressure. Mr. Gardner's watching us every way, so I know I got to keep everything on track and be good with what we do. But my remarks will be very brief because we like to speak through our drawings, so hopefully you guys will see what you like. If there are things that you like in the design that we have, please, that's the airport authority. They've come up with all the good ideas. Anything you don't like, please bring that to me. That's my responsibility, and we'll try to address it. So, in any case, this is humbling for us, and I can't thank you enough. And we assure you that we will be designing and executing on a wholly wonderful, beautiful project that is not only attractive, also durable, and very functional. Everything we do, we take the things you don't see as seriously as the things that you do. And so our hope is that 20, 30 years down the line, you'll still be using this airport in a way that is very useful for North Caicos. And again, all we want to do is honor the people of North Caicos and the Gardiner family, and we take that task very seriously. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Now the people of North Caicos have a face behind the design, so just putting you on a little bit of notice. We know who you are. We're going to have remarks from Honorable Arlington Musgrove.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, North Caicos. accepting protocol that is already established, distinguished guests, members of the Gardiner family, my good people of North Caicos, Turks and Caicos Islands, good morning. You will see I shaking a little bit up here. I usually don't speak from a scripted note, but I don't want to leave out anything this morning. But I'm also nervous. It's because coming to this airport and what we got planned, it really gives me goosebumps. Today is a momentous occasion as we gather to honor the remarkable legacy of Clifford Oscar Gardiner. In renaming this airport, we pay tribute to a pioneer in aviation, a visionary, a trailblazer, and an entrepreneur extraordinaire, who not only helped connect our islands, but also set the stage for the future of aviation and travel in the Turks and Caicos Islands. With Clifford Gardiner, there were many firsts. He was the first Turks and Caicos Islander to complete a solo flight and earn his commercial pilot license. He was the first Turks and Caicos Islander to build and own a hotel in the Turks and Caicos Islands. He was the first Turks and Caicos Islander to see a grizzly bear in the Turks and Caicos Islands. You all remember that? He was the first Turks and Caicos Islander who believed that he could prevent hurricane from coming to the Turks and Caicos Islands. I can recall Clifford saying now, he would load up a barge filled with ice and take it to the coast of Africa to cool down the temperature to prevent hurricane from forming. You see, Clifford was always thinking of ways to help Turks and Caicos Island and its people. Clifford was a visionary and always had a plan. For those of us that can recall, that was big news for us here in North Caicos when Clifford started flying. I could remember like now, everyone running out of their houses to see when Clifford fly over. Certainly a moment in time. Just thinking about it makes me beam with pride and solidify the significance of the ceremony. As the ministry responsible for immigration and border services, responsibility for aviation as well, I understand the critical role that our ports play in shaping the travel experience and supporting the economic growth of our nation. The advancement we celebrate today are a testament to Clifford's influence. He not only made it easier for us to move between the islands, but he also set a high standard for excellence in service and in safety, principles that continue to guide us as we modernize and expand our infrastructure. Today, as we name the airport in his honor, we as a government reaffirm our commitment to continue his legacy of progress and innovation. Clifford Gardiner shows that with determination and vision, we can move our nation, connectivity, and create new horizons. To the Gardiner family, thank you for sharing Clifford with us. His legacy is now cemented in the fabric of our nation, reminding us all of the power and perseverance and the importance of investing in our future. May this airport stand as a beacon of his dreams and a symbol of endless possibilities that await us all. There are many naysayers who said that this airport would never reopen. But to the people of North Caicos, I say to you, Clifford Gardiner legacy will not die. His vision for the future of aviation in these twin islands will not die. As a government, we will not let it die. Today's ceremony signifies a major step towards the realization of this government vision and master plan for the revitalization of aviation here on the island of North Caicos and the Twin Island as a whole. The last time this airport was operational was in 2011, 13 years ago. In 2020, when I campaigned, I said, this is our time to rise. with the PNP. That was more than just a catchphrase. It was a commitment that I made to you, my people, from the depth of my heart. I made that then with Clifford Gardiner vision and legacy in mind. I went to work on day one with tireless effort and tough negotiations that are continuous and ongoing to achieve meaningful and worthwhile deliverables for you, my people of North Caicos. And I promise you, North Caicos, we will not stop until we have delivered a complete package. As when you ride in here, you can see the control tower and fire station are now operational. Look at my great firefighters over there. Look how well they dress. They are the first batch of firefighters stationed here in the Twin Islands. They are trained, well prepared, and equipped for the task at hand. I also know that this batch of firefighters is the first batch here in the TCI to have been through a recently formed partnership between TCIAA and the world-renowned Dallas Fort Worth Fire Training Research Center, the world's premier fire education center. You notice, and Brother Gardiner, I know your heart come full when you pass there. The old structure, we have demolished that, and the temporary structure is ready for the interim use. A new custom-built aircraft rescue and fire truck with a cutting-edge technology has been commissioned for the Clifford Gardiner International Airport. This is no ordinary truck. This was purposely built just for the Twin Islands. I'm advised from the chairman and the CEO that production of the fire truck is ahead of schedule, which means it will be here and delivered on the island before Christmas. So we will have a Merry, Merry Christmas. The Washington Music government is now working on 4 days weekly return flights into Clifford Gardiner International Airport, which will facilitate northern Caicos, and the works are currently being finalized to secure and recertification by the Civil Aviation Authority for the Clifford Gardiner International Airport. We assembled today on the site of the new terminal building. As you remember, the chairman said it will be just over there. And I'm overjoyed to say that after 2+ years of sweat, toiling tears, and countless hours of negotiation, we have retained the international acclaimed architects, Dyke Nelson and Associates, as he was just speaking a little while ago, who have completed the architectural and design phase of the terminal. Mr. Nelson and his team have also been instrumental in assisting the TCIA with developing the scope of works for the repavement. Ladies and gentlemen, again, the repavement of that airport. And I'm happy to have been advised that the ITT for the work is currently lodged with the TCIG Procurement Board for approval and subsequent publication. I am also advised and happy to report that Mr. Nelson's presence today is part of the finalizing stage of the architectural phase of the project, and that in a very near future, an ITT to allow for the bid proposal to be received for the construction of the terminal and design will also be submitted for the publication by the Procurement Board. Mr. Nelson and his team have been contracted to provide project management and oversight of the construction phase to ensure that this design is unveiled, that we unveiled today, is delivered within time and within budget, and with a level of quality benefiting of this design goals. North Caicos, it ain't long now. These are the kind of significant accomplishments I'm talking about when I say we are working for you. With funding of $23 to $30 million, spending over a period of 3 years. Can you imagine $23 to $30 million here in North Caicos? Well, we're going funky. This airport project will be the state-of-the-art, premium grade terminal equipment with a restaurant and space for concessions, with decor and furnishing professionally designed to transcend the quality of any other terminal currently in the Texas Caicos Islands. The unveiling of the design for the new terminal building signifies a major step towards accomplishing this government vision for the Twin Islands. Unrelenting in our quest to revitalize aviation in Twin Islands, here is where it starts, North Caicos. Something you, my people, can look forward to. Something you, my people, can feel good about. Travel options for people, especially the elderly. Oh, they are dear to my heart, especially the elderly and the unwell who are unable to endure a boat ride to and from Providenciales. And sometime, I know Clifford will be proud. He'll be proud of the progress we have made. I can see him beaming down now. Fly high, North Caicos. Fly high, Turks and Caicos. May his legacy lives on. North Caicos, I thank you, and I love you too much.
Thank you, Honorable. We'll now have remarks from the Mayor, Honorable Washington Music.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's great to be in North Caicos and to see so many of you. Governor, thanks for being with us today. We know you just came back and had a very busy schedule, and we're very happy that you find it possible to be with us today. My remarks are going to be rather personal. You see, Clifford was a contemporary of mine. Not only was he a contemporary of mine, Clifford was 6 months older than I was. We were first cousins. We went to the same church. We went to the same school. And we had some very critical, important, and sometimes personal conversations about a lot of things. I want to start by saying that Clifford had the unfortunate event of passing away in the middle of the pandemic. And so we didn't have the time to honor him and send him off in the style that we would wish to have done. Today, I'm sure that all of you here today feel a sense of pride. Not only the people from North Caicos, and particularly his family, Susan, Don, and Ken Roy. I don't know who else is here, the extended family. A sense of pride in all that he was able to accomplish in his time. You see, I know Clifford very intimately. As I said earlier, we went to school together, went to church together, and many nights I slept on the floor in Bentley Hill at his house, right? And over the years, I've had the privilege of having deep conversations with Clifford. Clifford was a thinker. He was a philosopher. He was an innovator, right? And Chuck mentioned some of it. In his last year or months of life on this earth, we spent a lot of time together. And today there's a feeling of deja vu because Clifford had to be transported back and forward to Providenciales on a boat to do his medical treatment, right? Which reminds me of 1972. When he first started, all we had here was a dirt airstrip. We didn't even have the terminal that was built after that by your dad. I think we had a little wooden shack to the edge of the runway, so, right? This stopped edge of the runway, right? So it took a lot of vision. You know, and sometimes it's said that fools rush in where angels fear the tread. A lot of persons who are just making to turn a dollar would probably not have done what he did. Invest his money and his time and training to come back to these beautiful Turks and Caicos Islands to serve his people, right? And he did that. He did that with pride. I say Clifford was a visionary and a thinker, and a philosopher. And just to make a light moment at this very critical and important event, I remember we sitting at the hotel on the deck. We were talking about, Chuck, I don't know if you were there. We were just having a conversation, and Clifford says, well, you could only be in love with love. You could only be in love with yourself. Because can't feel what the other people feel. The other person is speaking. So he was a thinker and a philosopher, right? Okay? But I'm here to say, in the words of Nehemiah 2:17, let us, looks like I've lost it. But what it says, I think Nehemiah was saying to the Jews, come and let us go and rebuild the wall of Jerusalem so that we can no longer be in disgrace, right? And so this is a moment of deja vu when I reflect on 1972 and where we are today. Over the years, there have been regular daily flights out of North Caicos, Providenciales, to South Caicos, and to Grand Turk. So, of course, time and things change, and government and organizations have to always look at the best way of deploying resources. And for whatever reason, Turks and Caicos, North Caicos Airport became a casualty of that reorganization, right? And the people of North Caicos, particularly the elderly, have paid dearly for that reorganization and the fact that they've had to be taken on boats late at night and endure the indignity of that kind of travel when they're very ill. And so this is a moment that we come here to make a difference in all of that. You see, what is important for this government has always been sustainability. Every time I open my mouth, you're going to hear me say that word. And resilience. Right? Because growth has its limits, but we have to work within our sustainability capability in order to be able to deliver and maintain a quality of life for our people. And as Chuck has said, we've had many, many overtures as it relates to the redevelopment of this airport. And we've spent a lot of time, and there are many times when we're very close. But again, I think it was Selvin who said, we are here to represent the best interest of the people of these islands and to make sure we get value for money. Right? And so we've decided that the Airports Authority, first of all, let me say this. I want to follow in the footsteps of Selvin when he singled out and give the credit where credit is due to the team at the Airports Authority. We're doing big things, and we're going big places, far places. We are limited only by our dreams. That is the limitation. And so what we're doing here, what we're doing in Providenciales, and what we're doing in Middle Caicos and South Caicos and Grand Turk and all of these islands as it relates to aviation is a step towards that sustainability. And as it relates to North Caicos in particular, I think it's going to be very important for the people of North Caicos for our tourism product. Right? And the fact that we are where we are now and kind of reshredding the needle is a testament to the foundation, to the legacy of Clifford, Gardiner. We would not have been where we are in the first place had he not then did what he did, right, in recognizing the need for service. And I believe that was an impetus and why the development over the years that took place here. And so we are where we are, and we have recommitted ourselves to redevelop this airport in North Caicos so that we can ensure that the quality of life that is available anywhere else in the TCI, the service delivery that is available anywhere else in the TCI is also available to people of North Caicos. So I'm not going to belabor the point. My job is to be the orchestra player. I'm proud of Honorable Musgrove, who's doing a fantastic job North Caicos could not have done a better job than to make sure that he was elected and placed in the position that he's in. Whether you believe it or not, this is a testament of that. I find Chuck to be an extremely hard-working, very dedicated, and extremely unselfish person. And I think we know his history. He could be anywhere. The construction industry is booming. That's his trade. That is what he knows best. He could be there minting money, but he chose to be here to serve the people of North Caicos and make sure that he deliver a better future for the people of North Caicos, the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands. And I'll just like to say to my cousins in the front, because you see, Susan was the quiet engine behind the scene, right? And sometimes it's not what you do, or it's not what you say, it's what you do. And it just happened to be that Susan and I also related on the Mystic side of the family. And Clifford and my mom are related on the Gray and the Gardiner side of the family. So I share the pride that they feel, and the man that I knew, and the moments that we spent together. And it gives me great, great pleasure to be able to celebrate this moment in his honor, and to know that everything we do, the naming of this airport, will be a testament to his legacy. And I want to thank you again, Chuck, for making sure that that happens, and the hard work that you're doing with all of our airports. May God bless us. I'd like to recognize the presence of our Deputy Governor. Thank you for being here. Thank you. And thank you, and I commit to continue to work as hard as I can, as long as God gives me the breath, for you, the people of the North Caicos and the people of the Turks and Caicos, and you can keep your ears and your eyes open for great and big things. As has been said in the words of another missing Premier, bigger and better.
Thank you, Honorable Premier. We'll now have remarks from Her Excellency Gardiner.
Good morning, everybody. It is an honour to be here. Adopting the protocol established, I would like to recognise the Honourable Premier and also the family of the late Clifford Gardiner. It is truly a privilege to be here. I know even from before I started in this post, the Premier sent me reading, and he sent me all of their plans in terms of business cases in respect of aviation and the aviation master plan. And I was starting to read in terms of what that meant, where we were going, and then I came to North Caicos. Crystallised by my first visit to North Caicos, my discussions with the Premier then in respect of the aviation master plan for the Turks and Caicos was not just looking at it from a perspective of inward investment, but really also about being an archipelago of islands, driving connectivity, but most importantly access of care. What is that social infrastructure that it is so critical that aviation also plays a critical part of? So I know how proud this day is, particularly for North Caicos, in celebrating this moment and that determination and respect for the community of North Caicos and what we need to provide in terms of access, care and opportunity. I know from reading the incredible achievements from the late Clifford Gardiner what an amazing individual he must have been, and how he serves as an inspiration of taking those local dreams and creating and driving international accomplishments, not only for yourself, but also for your community and for your country. So today, as we celebrate the national pride in his achievements, we also celebrate our respect for North Caicos and also for driving the highest of international aviation and global standards as we drive forward in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Her Excellency. Okay, so now we're going to get an acceptance speech from the son of Clifford Gardiner, Mr. Kenro Gardiner.
accepting the already established protocol. Good morning. Today marks a momentous occasion in our nation's history as we officially rename and unveil the plans for the Clifford Gardiner International Airport. This achievement would not have been possible without the vision, dedication, perseverance of our government and indeed my father. My father's pioneering spirit and passion for aviation has inspired countless individuals, including myself. As the first Turks and Caicos Islander to fly an aircraft and solo flight, he paved the way for future generations to take to the skies. His legacy continues to soar in aviation, hospitality, and this airport stands as a testament to his innovative spirit. My father was never afraid to try new things. He was a motivator and a cheerleader to many, often quoting Henry Wordsworth's Longfellow, Heights by Great Man. The Clifford Gardiner International Airport represents more than just a transportation hub. It's a symbol. It symbolizes hope, opportunity, connectivity for the Twin Islands. It's a gateway to new experiences, economic growth, and cultural exchange. As we celebrate this milestone, let us remember the power of collaboration, determination, and visionary leadership. Let us honor the contributions of those who have paved the way for us, like my father Clifford. Thank you and congratulations to everyone involved in this momentous achievement. My family and I are very excited and proud of this project, as I know my father would have been also. And I also want to add, I have already started preparing my ribbon cutting speech, so I'm putting the airport's entirety and the government on guard. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gardiner. I see they got a ribbon in the back of the minister's Jeep. I'm not sure if that's going to be used today or when, but the ribbon is here.
So now we're going to proceed with the
unveiling by the family and dignitaries. So I'll call the family of Mr. Gardiner, I'll call the Premier, Her Excellency the Governor, Honorable Musgrove, the Deputy Governor, CEO, Chairman Airport Authority,
So just let you know what they'll be unveiling over here. Family members is, if this was a building, if we're at a building, this is the plaque that would be mounted on the wall of the building. After today's ceremony, we will mount this on the temporary terminal for now. But what they're unveiling is the commemorative plaque on the official renaming of the Clifford Gardiner International Airport. So if we can, we'll invite each dignitary and member to just choose one of the stands where you see members of our fire team standing. I'll invite Dwayne and members of the board as well to join in front of the stands. You as well, Mr. Nelson. So our media doing what they do best, wants us to do this with a bit of order for perfect production. So once they're done with the photos, we'll let the side to my right, your left, unveil those set of the terminal designs, and then this side will unveil the rest. The group over here, you can go ahead and start unveiling what you have in front of you.